At 6:19 local time, the USS Abraham Lincoln had been exporting freedom in 900-kilogram packages for quite some time over Iranian soil.
When the morning changed its tone, the E-2 Hawkeye in orbit captured a signature that freezes the blood of any officer on duty. 4 ballistic missiles ascending, and dozens of additional aerial contacts approaching from the coast.
The carrier and its 2 escort destroyers have seconds, not minutes, to respond. On the USS Spruance,
SPI illuminates 30 contacts flying low in a staggered formation, pushing south, emerging from the Iranian coastal haze at barely 100 knots.
90 miles further east, the USS Michael Murphy detects 28 additional contacts. The tactical action officer
of the Spruance, the TAO, is the man who has absolute authority over every weapon system on the ship. He classifies the threat in 4 seconds.
Kamikaze drones of single use. The cheap Iranian variant. Each craft is worth less than a used truck in a second-hand lot.
But each one carries enough explosive to blow up a machine room, or turn a radar antenna into scrap metal.
General quarters! General quarters! All personnel to battle stations!
Every hatch is sealed. The sailors run towards the damage control stations.
Every hatch is sealed. Each sailor knows that the ship's survival depends on their speed. The MH-60 Romeo helicopter starts up on the flight deck and veers sharply east towards its surveillance station. Hellfire's loaded on the rails. The door gunner is already sweeping the surface with his gaze. Before going on with what's coming, and believe me, what's coming is brutal, I want to know something. From which country are you watching this analysis? The gunner already sweeping the surface with his gaze. Before following what comes, and believe me, what comes is brutal.
I want to know something. From what country are you?
Listen, how modern naval war is understood. Leave it to me in the comments. Like this if you're hooked on this type of content.
And subscribe, because here we analyze what other channels don't even dare to touch. On the signal bridge of the Spruance.
2 sailors activate the Drake electronic countermeasures. The concept is simple but brilliant. The ship projects a phantom duplicate
Of its electromagnetic signature kilometers from where it really is. Imagine that you hire a bodyguard. That is Drake, but on a naval scale. In the Murphy, the same announcement.
The same frantic race to battle stations. 9 miles from the Spruance, the MK-45 5-inch cannon
Rotates toward the course of the drones and begins to spit steel. Projectiles of.
Begins to spit steel. Projectiles of 32 kilograms with variable time phases.
First burst. 2 drones fall. A third absorbs fragments, loses an engine, but the second engine keeps it in the air and
Continues to advance. The automatic loader pumps at 20 rounds per minute, while the gunner's in the deep magazine.
Feed projectiles into the breach with a cadence that the crew feels vibrate through their souls. Aim, fire, rotate.
Reacquire. 3 seconds per cycle. 400 meters of distance in each interval. 24 contacts.
Point 21. 90 miles to the east, the 5-inch gun of the Murphy executes.
the same mortal choreography. The .50 caliber machine guns hunt the targets that the main cannon does not cover. At 25,000 feet above both ships, the Hawkeye updates the ballistic report.
The 4 warheads have reached apogee and initiate their descent. 15 minutes to impact on the Lincoln.
The report reaches every ship in the battle group. The Spruance and the Murphy register it
and continue discharging against the drones. They can do absolutely nothing against those warheads, not with what they have on board.
The Spruance has reduced the threat to 18 drones when the junior officer of the watch, monitoring the surface radar,
Cuts the rhythm of combat dead. Surface contacts, bearing 085. Fast targets, 40 knots, inbound direction. Surface contacts, bearing 085. Fast targets, 40 knots, inbound direction. IRGC, fast attack craft.
The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, launching its boats at full speed from the east.
Some configured as suicide vehicles, with enough explosive stuffed in the bow to open a hole in the hull of a destroyer upon impact.
That's devastating. 5-inch gun points north against 18 drones and only one main battery. 2 threat axes and no scenario where the geometry resolves clean. The ship goes full power.
To port with all the power of its turbines. The maneuver seeks to raise a wall of white water from the stern.
Not 15-meter boats, but it transforms a coordinated wolfpack attack into a disorganized disaster. Fragmenting their formation forces them to slow down and reapproach. That buys time, and time is the only currency this crew has in the cash register.
The Mk-38 25mm stabilized cannon acquires the lead boat at 2,500 meters, while the deck sways 15 degrees.
Tracer walks over the water until the motor housing explodes in a cloud of fiberglass and fuel.
The MH-60 Romeo liquidates the second. A hellfire direct to the hull. No drama, no second shot.
The helicopter has 7 missiles left. The remaining boats disperse to regroup. 90 miles to the east. The surface radar of the Murphy launches the same alert 30 seconds later. 8 fast attack boats, bearing 270.
The tail of the Murphy contemplates a dilemma that has no elegant solution. 16 drones advancing from the north, 8 boats from the west.
He accepts the risk in the northern axis. He assigns the Mk-38 and the .50 calibers against the drones.
And the main cannon against the boats. It's not pretty. There's nothing pretty about this board. Take the decision and live with it. The boats take 3 minutes to be neutralized. By then, the drone count on the Murphy has fallen to 9, all with optical guidance.
All still on a collision course. The 5-inch gun turns north again. In the Spruance, the boats flee. In the Spruance, the boats flee, and the drone count goes down to 8. The CIWS takes control over those that filter through.
And if a compact autonomous sentry had an older cousin who skipped all sympathy and channeled its entire existence toward immediate destruction.
Of everything that flies without authorization, it would look exactly like this. A white dome mounted on deck that turns toward anything it doesn't like.
And eliminates it from the sky without asking questions. Detects the contact, classifies it, and opens fire in the same heartbeat.
For 4 seconds, the crews breathe. Then the electronic warfare operators of both ships break the silence with the word that no sailor wants to hear.
Vampire! Vampire! Vampire!
The alert reaches the Spruance first, then the Murphy 11 seconds later. An anti-ship missile battery stationed on the Makran coast has been building a passive fire solution for the last 45 minutes, observing without transmitting, accumulating heading and speed data.
Without ever radiating enough to give itself away. It simply stayed there in silence, listening to the ship's own emissions.
And it chose this instant with surgical precision.
The drones and boats were never designed to sink anything. They were the distraction, the opening act conceived to drain ammunition, exhaust operators.
And leave every sophisticated weapon system of both ships pointing in the wrong direction for what comes next.
The Noor anti-ship missiles, the perfected Iranian copy of the Chinese P-82, flying flush with the water at 5 meters altitude.
Within the cone, an active radar seeker tracking the destroyers with 165 kilograms of warhead behind it. And they've already
flown off the rail before the TAO can fully digest the electronic warfare report. 4 missiles, wave top altitude.
Closing at just under the speed of sound from the northwest. The geometry is not accidental. The battery fired exactly when both ships had minimum reaction time.
and maximum operational saturation. And this is where I want to ask you a question. What you just saw, humans, Suez thrones. The Spruance still has 9 drones in order. The Murphy.
They have to manage both simultaneously with whatever is left in the magazines.
Its implacable descent toward the Lincoln, 13 minutes. No destroyer has the capacity to intercept them. That hasn't changed.
The TAO of the Spruance activates the VLS for the first time in the whole morning. 3 SM-2s pierce the front cell covers.
And begin sharing time between 4 incoming Noors. Each illuminator of the ship abandons the drone's course. The .50 caliber machine guns are all that's left against them.
The chaff rockets leave the launcher, projecting radar signatures larger than the ship itself. The naval equivalent of turning on every car alarm in the street.
So the thief doesn't know which one is your door. And the ship veers to starboard at maximum power to complicate the seeker's terminal geometry.
In the Murphy, the same sequence. 2 SM-2s out, illuminators northwest. The Drake bubble has been active since battle stations.
And it has already diverted several drone trajectories toward empty ocean. But those equipped with optical guidance ignore it completely.
It's an advance toward a hull that has every sophisticated weapon pointing to a different quadrant. At 25,000 feet above them, the Hawkeye pushes another update. 4 warheads in descent. 12 minutes for impact on the Lincoln at Mach 5 and accelerating into terminal phase.
But what neither the Spruance nor the Murphy knew, what no one in any of the 2 combat information centers had been informed of,
was that a 3rd American destroyer had been observing the entire combat unfold without uttering a single word. The USS Frankie Pedersen Jr., the ship dedicated exclusively to ballistic missile defense of the battle group, had been monitoring every engagement.
The watch operators tracked every confrontation of both destroyers. They said nothing. They conserved every missile in the magazine.
SM-3, in addition, is to the standard SM-2 and SM-6.
Imagine it like trying to hit a bullet with another bullet, except both are traveling at 10 times the speed of sound, and one of them is literally in space.
The TAO has been building interception solutions since the ballistic trajectories appeared in the first Hawkeye report. He has 4 trajectories and 4 SM-3s ready.
The TAO of the Spruance activates the VLS for the first time in the whole morning. 3 SM-2s pierce the front cell covers.
And start sharing time between 4 incoming Noors.
The chaff rockets leave the launcher, projecting radar signatures larger than the ship itself. The naval equivalent of turning on all...
So the thief doesn't know which is the door of your house. And the ship turns to starboard at maximum power to complicate the seeker's terminal geometry.
The Drake bubble of the Murphy has been active since battle stations and has already diverted several drone trajectories into empty ocean. But those equipped with optical guidance ignore it completely and advance toward a hull that has every sophisticated weapon pointed to a different quadrant.
At 25,000 feet above them, the Hawkeye pushes another ballistic update to the battle group. 4 warheads in descent.
12 minutes to impact on the Lincoln at Mach 5 and accelerating towards terminal phase. But what neither the Spruance nor the Murphy knew,
Station. What nobody in either of the 2 combat information centers had been informed.
The USS Frankie Pedersen Jr., the ship dedicated exclusively to ballistic missile defense.
The watch operators tracked every confrontation of the other destroyers. They said nothing. They conserved every missile in the magazine.
The Pedersen carries SM-3s in addition to the standard SM-2 and SM-6. The SM-3 is an exoatmospheric interceptor,
which means it leaves the Earth's atmosphere entirely to fulfill its function. Imagine it like trying to hit a bullet with another bullet.
except both are traveling at 10 times the speed of sound, and one of them is literally in space. The interception vehicle separates from the rocket booster
and physically collides with the target. If it misses by 1 meter, the warhead reaches the Lincoln. At 100 miles north.
In the Spruance, the first Noor at 11 miles. A flash on the horizon. The illuminator rotates to the next trajectory.
Second Noor at 8 miles. Third and fourth 2 miles later. None touch the hull. The Spruance comes out intact.
3 SM-2s against 3 incoming Noors. But the illuminators are sharing time because he launched 3 rounds against 3 targets. And he only has 3 SPG-62s to guide them. The fundamental problem is this. An SM-2 is blind on its own in the...
Every time it alternates between them, the missile flies without guidance for 400 meters. The first SM-2 impacts at 9 miles. The second loses its target in one of those blind intervals when the Murphy maneuvers aggressively to compensate for the failure.
Hailing. But although Iran did not score a single direct hit, they achieved exactly what they sought with the first wave. Consume time.
Imagine it as trying to hit a bullet with another bullet, except both travel at 10 times the speed of sound, and one of them is literally in space.
The interception vehicle separates from the rocket booster in the exosphere and physically collides with the target. If it misses by 1 meter, the warhead reaches the Lincoln. The TAO has been building interception solutions since the ballistic trajectories appeared in the first report from the Hawkeye. He has 4 trajectories and 4 SM-3s ready.
He has waited patiently for the geometry to resolve clearly. 100 miles north, the destroyers still fight for their lives.
100 miles north, the destroyers still fight for their lives. In the Spruance, the first Noor at 11 miles.
Flash on the horizon. The illuminator rotates to the next trajectory. Second Noor at 8 miles. Third and fourth 2 miles later. None touch the hull. The Spruance comes out intact. In the Murphy, the geometry is considerably uglier.
3 SM-2s against 3 incoming Noors. But the illuminators are sharing time because he launched 3 rounds against 3 targets.
And he only has 3 SPG-62s to guide them. The Murphy has 3 flashlights for 3 missiles approaching.
In the Murphy, the geometry is considerably uglier. 3 SM-2s against 2 incoming Noors. But the illuminators are sharing time because he launched 3 rounds against 3 targets and only has 3 SPG-62s to guide them.
The fundamental problem is this. An SM-2 is blind on its own in the last seconds of flight.
It needs the ship to hold a radar beam on the target.
Exactly like someone holding a flashlight over a bird in the dark so another can shoot.
Every time it alternates between them, the missile flies without guidance for 400 meters. The first SM-2 impacts at 9 miles. The first SM-2 impacts at 9 miles. The second loses its target in one of those blind intervals.
When the Murphy maneuvers aggressively to compensate for the failure, 2 additional SM-2s leave the rails.
When the Murphy maneuvers aggressively to compensate for the failure, 2 additional SM-2s leave the rails, connecting at 6 miles.
The Lincoln's escort is drained of short-range interceptors and distracted by ghosts. But the Peterson Jr. has been waiting for this specific arithmetic. 4 ballistic warheads are now 8 minutes from impact. The Aegis BMD system on the 121 transitions from track to engage.
No sirens here, no shouting, just the sound of keys and the hum of cooling fans. The geometry is finally perfect.
They accelerate at 30 Gs. In 4 seconds, they are through the cloud layer. In 12, they are at the edge of the atmosphere.
In the exosphere, the noise of the world dies. The fairing eject, exposing the seeker head to the...
The infrared seeker cools in seconds. It searches for a single point of heat against the black background of space.
There, 140 miles out, a 1,000-degree heat signature falling at 4 kilometers per second.
No explosives, no fragmentation, pure kinetic energy. The equivalent of a freight train hitting a wall at 20,000 miles per hour.
Hit to kill!
Second impact confirmed. Third impact confirmed. 2 seconds between them. The arithmetic of the Aegis system is flawless.
Fourth impact, a clean sweep. $60 million to ensure the $13 billion carrier stays afloat for another hour.
In the CIC of the Pedersen, there are no cheers. The engagement icons simply turn green, then disappear.
100 miles north, the Spruance and the Murphy are finishing the job. They clear the remaining drones from the sky like sweeping up broken glass after a burglary.
The first wave is over. The immediate danger has passed. But as the smoke...
The immediate threat is neutralized, but the decks tell a different story. This is the arithmetic of a trick.
Iran spent $5 million spent maintenance of drones and failed boats.
In the ship's office, the logistics officer looks at a ledger that has turned red. You can't 3D print a standard missile in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Survival is a victory, but in the Persian Gulf, it's a temporary one. If a second wave launched right now,
The destroyers cannot leave. If you leave the stream of the street, the kids beneath the careful's fate. So where am I?
Replenishment at sea.
This is CEC, Cooperative Engagement Capability. The Spruance sees the threat, the Murphy processes the solution, and the Peterson Jr. provides the teeth. The Khalij farce, the Persian Gulf missile, a 9-meter ballistic predator that doesn't care about decoys or electronic noise.
The Spruance picks it up 11 seconds after launch. Not a drone, not a boat, a high-angle ballistic profile.
the first wave was a test of endurance. This is a test of survival. The Khalij fars.
The Lincoln is no longer a base of operations. To the infrared eye falling from the sky at 3,000 miles per hour,
The Hawkeye pushes the update. Vampire Ballistic, second salvo. This isn't a trickle, it's a wall. The Pedersen has 8 SM-3 in the forward magazine, enough for 2 salvos for this.
The Khalij farce isn't just a falling rock. It's a maneuverable re-entry vehicle. It performs a...
At 10,000 meters, the Seeker opens its eye. It doesn't see a ship. It sees the 100,000-degree infrared...
3 of the 4 warheads are erased in the exosphere. 3 kinetic solutions. 3 perfect intercepts.
The fourth Marvia performs its terminal maneuver exactly as the KW enters its window. A miss. The Pedersen has done its job. The shield has a hole. The Lincoln activates on terminals and defenses. The ram launcher...
The Lincoln survives. But survival is not a victory. It is a delay. The adrenaline that kept the crews at peak performance for 3 hours is beginning to evaporate, leaving behind a cold, hollow feeling. The arithmetic has shifted. Defense is a luxury they can no longer run.
Catapult 1 is tensioned. The F-35C Lightning II isn't here to intercept drones. It's here to find the hands that launched them.
4 aircraft are airborne in 90 seconds. Total electronic silence. No radar, no radio, just a
From 35,000 feet, the pilot doesn't look through a window. She looks through the ship itself. The DAS system stitched.
The F-35Cs cross the coast in EMCON Alpha. Total electronic silence. They aren't broadcasting, they are absorbing. Passive sensors only.
Pickle, pickle. 2 tons of satellite-guided judgment leave the internal bays. The F-35 doesn't even break its stealth profile.
The JDAM doesn't need an engine. Gravity and GPS are its fuel.
The hands that launched the missiles are gone. The second wave source is deleted. But the ocean is large, and the Iranian arsenal is deep.
Falcon 1-1, good hits. 2 TELs destroyed. Secondary explosions confirmed. Turning for the deep blue.
The Admiral doesn't celebrate. In the flag world, a strike is just a data point in a much larger, more expensive game of chess.
Survival requires more than just high-tech seekers. It requires fuel, food, and the heavy iron that makes the shield. The command is given. Move the line. The carrier group pivots, putting another 50 miles of ocean between their hulls.
Round 1 belongs to the United States. But in the world of modern naval warfare for defense,
Deterrence is not a one-time purchase. It is a subscription service paid in JP5 fuel, high-grade steel, and the mental health of 19-year-olds.
the Pedersen Jr. hasn't moved. Its arithmetic is done for now, but its eyes never close.
Signal intelligence on the Murphy picks up a new frequency. Not a launch command, not a drone link. Something older, something heavier.
While the sky burns, the depth remains silent. An Iranian kilo.
The Kilo class is known by NATO as the black hole. On battery power, it produces less noise than the ambient.
The Romeo drops the dip. This is active sonar. They are no longer listening. They are screaming into the deep to see what screams back.
Contact confirmed. A lethal discovery.
Contact. Bearing 185. Possible kilo. We have a tail in the water.
The battle for the Lincoln has moved from the clouds to the abyss. The threat is no longer a line. The active pulse hits the kilo. In the silent world of the deep, this is the equivalent of a spotlight finding a thief.
The Iranian commander reacts instantly.
Romeo 1-2, weapons release. Torpedo in the water. Transitioning to circle and search.
The end is often Sabalanfans.
The ocean has a way of hiding its wounds.
Admiral Rogers knows that survival isn't victory. In the 21st century, victory is simply the absence of a
The Pedersen Jr. returns to its library silence. Its magazine is nearly empty, its mission technically complete.
In 4 hours, the carrier strike group has expended more in interceptor missiles than the annual GDP of several small nations.
The ships are alive, but they are scarred. Every scorched bulkhead and empty casing is a reminder.
Deep in the belly of the Lincoln, the logistics officers are doing a different kind of math. They are out of SM-2s.
The destroyers take their stations. They look ready. They look lethal.
The Hawkeye remains on station. Its crew has changed, its fuel has been replenished, but its eyes never. Behind the high-tech sensors and the cinematic explosions is a simple, terrifying fact. The U.S. Navy is out of intercept.
The watch changes. A new set of eyes looks for the same threats. There are no...
The Lincoln survives. The screen remains intact. But the ocean is large. The enemy is patient.
Peterson Jr. sits in the center of the dark, a silent guardian that the world will never thank. Its victory is the fact that
4 warheads,
0 hits.
$300 million.